Hi, today I'm going to show you how to decorate for Valentine's Day using clear glass plates from the Dollar Tree and some of these felt hearts. Now, initially, this craft was going a totally different way, but I had to pivot because it wasn't working out. So I came up with a different plan. I'll show you how everything went wrong, but I'm also going to show you how everything went right. So the first step is to put on your gloves. And I think I saw a tip where you can put your thumb in and then put I don't know. I don't think this really works. Kind of worked. So put on your gloves and make sure that is this really working? Ow. Ow, ow, ow. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my hands. So let's try this again. Stick where is the thumb? It was hiding from me. Gloves are on. And I'm going to take a cotton swab and my 70% alcohol. And this is a little dispenser for liquids that you can get at the dollar store. And I've just filled mine with alcohol. You do that and it gets the alcohol on the swab. And you're going to clean the back. Now this is after I have already cleaned them with dish soap and removed the sticker, and I'm just removing any oils off the back and letting that dry, air dry. Let those dry completely, and after they're dry, use a microfiber cloth to wipe off any lint that may be left on it. And now it's time to use the stencil. It's easy. The back of my plate only has a flat surface of just under 5 inches. So I'm going to try to make this into a 3-inch heart. I don't need it to be super big, but I want it to be visible. So, okay, I've connected my machine, making sure that this is pressed down. Notice that this is, that has writing here, and I don't necessarily want to cut where that is. I want to kind of bring it down a little. So I'm cutting at down 1 inch and over 1 inch, just because that's how I am. And there we go. We've got a stencil. Now I can use this for the glue. Okay, now that your plates are dry, it's time to clean off any lint. Now it's time to take your Mod Podge and your stencil that you just made. I'm quite proud of this stencil. And you're going to fit it to the back of it doesn't have to be exact. You're just using it as a little template to apply the glue. I'm using a flat brush, laying it as flat as possible. Okay, so here's a little problem. The vinyl likes to fly. So I'm just going to do the outskirts of it and fill it in afterwards. So these come individually wrapped, I guess you could call it, so that you can easily open them up. Okay. Now instead of using my fingers, I'm just going to use a brush to plop it down. Not enough glue there, apparently. or the glue dried too much. So, yep, the glue dried. Again, this is about having fun, doing a craft. I have to remind myself these things all the time. Deep down, I like to think I'm a perfectionist, but I'm not perfect in any way. Okay, let that dry a little. I think that one did a little better. Maybe. I'm gonna wait a little bit. Maybe that this brush is just too rough. So what I'm doing here is trying to make sure that it sticks to the glue. And I'm gonna dust off the rest of the pink. Maybe. All right, there's a fail. Why did it stick to the glass? Like stuck. Like if I had put glue on everything. Weird. All right, well, this is a fail. Create a stamp for a craft using rigid insulation foam. I have a clear plate that I'm going to be using as my template. I want to make it round so that it fits this size, so that I know exactly how much space I have to work with to create this stamp. So I'm just going to rough trace. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can use any kind of cutting apparatus. I'm using this because it's fairly easy and I can get through it. You can also use a jigsaw with a smooth blade on it. Okay, now I'm going to hot glue the what I'm going to call the handle to the back of my piece. Now remember, really hot glue does melt foam, so don't use too much. This is just going to be kind of centered and stuck. I'll let that dry fully. So the best part about hot glue is that it dries fairly quickly. So now I've got my handle. I'm still not going to touch where the hot glue was. And I'm ready to add my items. So I'm using these little hearts that I bought from the Dollar Tree ages ago. And I'm just going to randomly put them on this piece. If you know me, you know that random is hard for me. So, yeah. Now, I'm going to glue each one to the foam. So I'm going to start with the center. Just going to do a little glob of glue and then put it down. Okay, now all of them are on here. We'll give the glue a little time to dry and then peel off all of the strings. But now you'll see how that will work as a stamp. Cute, right? So now I have mixed a couple of colors. This is Parisian red, and I took a little dark titanium white, and a tiny bit of this hotter pink, because that's this color, purple red, to mix up this pretty color. I don't want it to be too pink. I don't want it to be too red. I don't want it to be too white. I just want a subtle color. Now, I'm going to use a sponge because I don't have anything flat. So I'm going to use a sponge and then get some of the paint off, dab it onto my stencil. The important part is to get paint on your hearts. If it gets over here, it doesn't matter because that part's not going to be touching the plate anyway. You want to get enough on your hearts to be able to transfer onto the plate. Of the paint. All right, let's try this. I'm going to move a plate over and then place and press firmly. And take out. Okay, close but no cigar. So I'm going to put that to the side. Now I'm going to try with a paintbrush. A thin paintbrush. And I think this may be better because I'll get more coverage. Now the thing with these hearts is that because they're felt, they don't have, they'll have negative spaces. Come on, paint. It's going to take me forever. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you have a better way of doing this. Don't be so cynical and say that, you know, don't do it at all. That would be an easier way of doing it, is by not doing it at all. All right. Here's another attempt. I'm going to press down hard everywhere. All right. Yay! How cute is that? Finally worked. So this is what it'll look like once it's dry. Okay, now all of my plates are done and they are ready for the next stage, which is a little spray paint. Now, just a reminder, I am doing all of my embellishments on the back side, not on the food side. Would I eat off of these? Maybe, but I definitely wouldn't put them in the dishwasher. And if I were to wash them, I'd do a hand wash. So they could just be decorative, just a little whimsy for your table. So now I'm going to go outside and hopefully it's not too windy or too humid so that I can spray paint the backside. Okay, they've been painted. Doesn't that look cute? Now, the last step that I want to take is to take a metallic marker in gold and trim along the edge. This just gives it another little detail.